Hey Run Junkies, it is Friday and we are less than a week out from Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend, and I was gonna bring you a video today about packing for a racecation. Now, I'm still gonna talk a little bit about that, but the big question on everybody's mind is the weather. So at this point, the weather is upper 30s with high winds, very similar to what it was on marathon morning in 2017. And that is the race start temperature. So we're all kind of getting concerned. How do you dress for that? What do you wear? How does that affect your costumes? So I want to talk a little bit about that today, and I'm going to bring you with me on a few errands. So living here in Denver, it does get cold and we do have to adapt to some of the weather changes, but I want to bring you some of my tips for how not only do I run in cold weather, but how do I layer up? Some of your biggest concerns are going to be for race start, and I'm going to talk about that as I bring you with me on my errands. The first place I'm going to take you guys to is the local thrift store. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to spend a lot of money to stay warm. The first thing you want to do is keep warm in the starting corrals. Once you start running, you can warm up fairly quickly. But when you are standing around in the start staging area or waiting for your corrals to start, you will get very, very cold just standing there, especially with the weather the way it's going to be. At this point, when you're talking mid to upper 30s, that's not so much the issue as it is the wind and the humidity. We don't want to stand around in the start staging area and in the corrals just shivering trying to stay warm. That is our body's response to cold. So we want to stay warm before we even get there. We want to get warm and stay warm. The best thing you can do is just to layer on layer on layer, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to do that. I'm heading to Goodwill and I'm going to pick up a few fleece layers, maybe even a down jacket for just a few dollars, and maybe even some throwaway gloves and hats. Maybe you don't like to overpack and maybe you would rather not carry all of this stuff with you. Pack it with you when you head down to Florida for this coming weekend. But I personally would rather have it, not need it, not use it, than be standing there wishing I had it. Local thrift store. Here's the thing about staying warm. You want to start by keeping your head warm. That's where you're going to lose most of your heat. Your hands and your feet warm. And then probably the most important, next to wearing a hat, is going to wear some kind of core warmer. You can see I'm wearing a fleece vest right now. That's a good place to start. So a fleece vest that you can ditch, if you're keeping your core warm, your lungs and your heart are staying warm. I might just have to do this because these are funny. I think those are cute. One of the things that you learn when you do some backcountry camping or anything like that, you want to stay away from cotton. And I have kind of applied it to any running gear, any outdoor athletic wear. I never, ever, ever use cotton in any of my running equipment. So when you are looking for something at your local thrift store, you want to find a fleece. This is a poly blend, and you don't want like a cotton sweatshirt or anything like that, because the cotton sweatshirts like this is just going to make you colder. It's not really going to keep you warm. Once your body temperature drops, the cotton isn't going to help you. It doesn't keep that warmth in. But poly blends like this will keep that warmth in for longer, so you won't get as cold as fast. Just a little tip. Okay, so $30 later, I have a bag full of fleecy goodness that will keep me warm at the start line. Okay, next stop is Bass Pro Shops, where they have a lot of outdoor equipment anyway. So it's a lot of hunters and fishermen and things like that. So I'm gonna pick up some hand warmers and a few other things over there. By the way, if you're a fan of the show Last Man Standing with Tim Allen, this is the real life building that they use for their exterior shots. Okay guys, so I found something. These are Hot Hands toe warmers. Now this is a whole packet of like 10 pairs of these toe warmers, which is fantastic. But read the package carefully, because although I thought this would be a great idea for the entire marathon weekend, the problem is if you open the outer packaging, it activates all of them all at once. Okay, so I decided that I had to stop for a coffee here at Bass Pro. So this is my white mocha. Before I head out and start checking out of this shop, I am getting probably half a dozen of these pairs of hand warmers. So I have one pair for each race, which is perfect. And then I have a couple extra for Dave because he will be doing the marathon. The other thing that I found were these great 3-pack stretchy, these are gloves. Yeah, wow. And they also have kind of a gripper on the palms of them, so that'll be great. These are $6 for 3 pair. This is huge, guys, because I don't feel bad about ditching these at the side of the road if I need to. So I will definitely have 1 pair for the 5K, 10K, and half. They don't go with any of my costumes, but I don't really care. So, but that is where we're at right now. So I've got the hand warmers and the gloves. I'm gonna make one more stop over at Target, which is right next door. And I wanna pick up a couple of things just for toiletries and for the actual physical endeavor of packing. But for right now, I've got my white mocha, it's chilly outside, and I'm almost done with my errands. So one of the things that I wanna find here are the packing bags, like the vacuum seal bags that you can squeeze all of the air out of for packing into your suitcase. Let's see what we can find. These, okay? One thing to be careful of with bags like this is that they do puncture. So if you have some, you want to test them out before you take them down with you. I have a bunch of these at home, but many of them have holes in them, so the vacuum seal doesn't stay. Now I'm going to buy some brand new ones. These will be for a lot of those big fluffy fleecy things. Now these space bags are not in lieu of packing cubes. I'm actually going to use packing cubes to keep most of my clothing items together. I'm going to keep them kind of in outfit order. The space bags are just to kind of compress things down a little bit. Last stop, travel size aisle. Now there are a lot of other factors to consider when you're packing for a Rundisney Racecation. Are you driving or are you flying? If you're flying, do you have to pay for checked luggage? Is that an added expense you want to incur? What recovery needs do you have? What do you need to do in between races to keep you ready for the next race? Are you bringing costumes, and what is the weather going to do, and how is that going to affect what costumes you've already chosen? What do you need on race day to be comfortable from start to finish so you can be successful and cross that finish line? The first thing I would ask is whether or not you are willing to pay for checked bags if that isn't already offered for free. You can do a 4-day Rundisney Racecation with just a carry-on. But like I said earlier, I can't help you because I tend to overpack, and gladly so. I really don't know how to help you if you want to do it that way. If you want a full packing list, I've left a link to the Joyful Miles Rundisney Racecation packing list in the description below. This is their Rundisney packing list, and now I don't pack everything that's on this list, but it's a great place to start. But luggage-wise, I will pack at least one big bag for pretty much everything, and then one smaller carry-on item. That small carry-on item has everything I need for the first 24 to 36 hours of my trip. My suggestion would be to pack everything you're gonna need for the first day to 2 days of your trip, and that includes the first run kit that you're gonna use. This includes anything you're gonna need to have a comfortable run. Good pair of running shoes, running socks, sports bras, compression gear, any costume items you might have. You want a ditchable or warmer layer, whatever's going to keep you comfortable for that first race. So think through it, visualize it, and then pack it. You also want to make sure that you have in your carry-on your race waivers and any screenshots that you printed out from your proof of time races. Lastly, pack a change of clothes, pajamas, any toiletries or medications you may need, and of course your magic bands if you are staying on property. Now I definitely want to talk about running costumes. Yes, you may have had a whole plan about how your running costumes are going to go, but now that we're looking at the weather, we may have to change some of those plans. If you are planning a running costume, find ways to layer up that costume or alternatives to still use the costume or at least elements of it and still stay warm enough or cool enough depending on what's happening with the weather. All of my running costumes have a couple of things. They have an alternate layer that I could either add underneath or over top, plus a ditchable fleece layer that I plan on bringing to race start to stay warm. For daytime in the park, I have basic comfortable layers, including compression socks and comfortable walking shoes, or even sandals like UFOs. These are recovery sandals. This is the only sandal I would recommend wearing, at least for myself. Anything that has good arch support in it is going to be great for the parks. Other items I like to pack are my Trigger Point Therapy foam roller. I can pack things inside here, so that's helpful. But this is a great recovery tool between races and park time and all the time you're spending on your feet. You just foam roll out a little bit in between races and you will find that your legs will treat you nice all weekend long. I also like to pack a couple of these. This is Sweat X Sport that I actually got in one of the Runner's World boxes a while back. These are great if you want to hand wash any of your running gear that you might reuse. Also, it gets the stink out early, so it's not just sitting there. Hand washing at least once during a racecation is going to save your clothes and your nose a little bit. I know, for example, that the room where we are at the beach club has a clothesline, but if you're not sure, you might want to pack one just in case so you can hang dry any of your clothing. You can find those clotheslines maybe at Target or Bed Bath & Beyond, maybe the Container Store. The last thing I like to bring is a little strange, but if you've been to an NFL football game and you wanted to bring a bag in, there are specific rules for that. I thought this is perfect for getting through security faster. These are great because the security guys can see in there really fast, even if you have a lot of items in here. They'll still want to go through it a little bit, but it makes it easier for them to see it and gets you through the line faster. I also like to bring an external battery and a cord that I can plug my phone into it, because when we're running around the parks, we don't want to have to worry about how much battery life we're using on our phones. So it's just easy to plug that into an external battery. But as I promised, these are my run costumes for Walt Disney World Marathon weekend. Toy Story aliens for the 5K, the spoiler alert Rapunzel for the 10K, the fairy godmother is part of the Joyful Miles group theme for the half marathon, and my husband Dave and I will be Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope von Schweetz for the marathon. If you see me out there, please say hi and introduce yourself. Now I have a lot of packing yet to do. My entire loft up here is just full of things that I either have to wash or pack or organize or something, and I have only just scratched the surface. Luckily, I still have 5 or 6 days. I'm not sure if that's enough time. My question for you today is this: are you concerned at all about the weather, and what are you doing to maybe make yourself a little bit warmer on those race mornings? Please leave thoughts, questions, comments, and suggestions in the comment section down below. I will be back tomorrow with my year-end update, talking about all of the goals that I accomplished in 2017 and what I have to look forward to in 2018. But that is it for me today, you guys. We'll see you at Walt Disney World. Get out there, go find your awesome. Until next time, happy packing and happy running.